I think it's very important, and I would make it broader than just education in terms of school and the school system. I think learning and a learning mindset and openness is really important, because that's what we need to recognize what's coming towards us, and then also what we need to act upon it, right? So I think education is super important, because I feel, and one of the thoughts that we had at first is, how can you target something that says 2050 as the end goal? And we started a few years back, and then realizing that the kids that are now in primary school will have my age when we are in 2050, and perhaps I won't even be around, who knows, but how can you then not see that those kids will have continued their studies, will have started their job, started their career or vocation, perhaps started even their own family? So many key decisions in their life will be taken. And if then by giving them the awareness and perhaps the tools early on in their lives, I wouldn't necessarily just fix it on education, but just reach people early on in their life, in their journey, then hopefully that seed is planted, or that tool is in their toolbox, so that when something comes their way, they can recognize it, do something about it, and include what they have learned through our programming into their decision making. So that's why I think education is important, and that's why also as a Starter Circular Foundation, Schoolmaker is part of that. We pick the domain of the circular economy and the donut economy as a domain, as a context, saying, okay, this is what we want to aim for. This is what we need to be aware of. Yes, there's climate change, but there's also action that you can take within, those two strategies, design for a regenerative economy and design for a distributive economy. But what we really want to teach in the now is the 21st century skills. The skill set and the mindset for us is actually more important, I would say. The circular economy and the donut economy is almost like a given. I mean, why are we talking about anything else, right? That is what we need to achieve. But the skill, what you really need to learn from early on, and in our perspective, it's actually what you need to nurture with kids. But because I recognize it for myself, I've been an idealist all my life. I think already as a kid. And if you talk to children and you explain to them, this is our world, we have to take care of it, they say, of course. Was this something that you had to tell me? It's something that kids already know, it's within them, but they lose it. We lose it. And that's why, this is an interesting phenomenon. If you look at sustainability, which has been, the awareness of it has been around already, let's say early last century, right? With the rise of the Industrial Revolution. I mean, already then people could see that there was negative impact. And then there's always, it's for the future. It's for the future generation. We have to think of our kids. How many cycles through how many generations have we already had with people saying, it's for our kids, but the kids become adults and they repeat the narrative. So what's happening there? Why are we losing it? And so it's not only that we have to educate kids, but for us, education is important also in an intergenerational perspective. We have to educate them and we have, and as adults, we have to give the right example, because if we don't give the right example, the kids will grow up and saying, well, I don't see you doing anything. And I also want that big car and the nice house and the beautiful clothes. And I also want to look like that influencer and be the next billionaire, So education is important to early in life, give people the awareness, give people the skill, and hopefully really nurture what everybody has already, and make sure that they don't lose that in the process of growing up. And it's it's in the, they don't lose it because it's much more embedded within them, so it's stronger hopefully within them. But also in our programming, we make sure that their surroundings are also becoming more and more and the role models. So it's not, it's also the adults that need to change, and that's also in that sense focus indirectly on in our programming.